In this country, bombs and bullets and guns are built to murder Palestinians.
Those who opposed any kinds of injustice across history have faced scrutiny, have faced persecution, prosecution, also have faced all kinds of bad faith smear campaigns. It's not easy to be on the right side of history.
I know what I know really, that the history of the world is always the history of weak people fighting strong people. Of weak people who has a correct case fighting strong people who use their strength to exploit the weak.
The UK government has been complicit in the colonisation of Palestine for over 100 years now, and to this day they continue to supply, facilitate and profit from Israel's apartheid regime.
The system keeping Palestinians oppressed is built off our society's hunger to consume, built off governments that encourage genocide. Everyday consumerism feeds the war machine, facilitating modern colonialism. As companies try to distance themselves from the links between them and apartheid, all the while our governments won't protect Palestine. So it is up to us, the people, to cut ties with the companies that place profit over humanity.
When we fight against this government, against this state, it's the same state that sells arms to Israel. It's the same state which sells arms to Saudi Arabia. We have the same enemy, and we will always unite in fight against that enemy which wants to oppress and exploit us all. Put us down into poverty in this country while murdering people across the globe.
Because the media is so entirely complicit in it, we treat it as though it's complicated, and we treat it as though it doesn't make sense and as though it's ancient. But it's not the case. It's quite recent, and it's happening in the now. It's in the present tense.
If the police were doing their jobs, these war criminals would have been shut down already.
It is not enough right now to have the right opinion, to think kindly of those being genocided in our own lifetime. There comes a time where we have to put our bodies on the streets and on the roofs, which will slow the trade of bombs being dropped on civilians.
Elbit, which is the biggest Israeli arms company, they are making money developing weapons on an entire population.
We're coming back this week because we will continue to escalate until Elbit is shut down.
We're tired of companies here in the UK getting away with complicity in mass murder.
There are 10 Elbit sites across the UK, including 4 factories and several offices, with one of their main ones being here in central London.
End the chains between here and there.
These companies are complicit.
Is it representative of your impartiality to consistently call Israel an apartheid state?
It's representative of the fact.
Why won't your organisation engage in peace talks with the Israelis?
You don't mean exactly peace talks, you mean capitulation, surrendering.
Why not just talk?
Talk to whom?
Talk to the Israeli leaders.
That's kind of conversation between the sword and the neck, you mean?
Well, if there were no swords and no guns in the room, you could still talk.
No, I had never seen any talk between a colonialist case and a national liberation movement.
But despite this, why not talk?
Talk about what?
Talk about the possibility of not fighting.
Not fighting for what?
Not fighting at all, no matter what for.
Yeah, people usually fight for something and they stop fighting for something. So you can't tell me even why should we speak about what?
Well, stop fighting.
For what? Or talk about stop fighting why?
Talk to stop fighting, to stop the death and the misery, the destruction, the pain.
The misery and the destruction and the pain and the death of whom?
Of Palestinians, of Israelis, of Arabs.
Of the Palestinian people who are uprooted, thrown in the camps, living in starvation, killed for 20 years, and forbidden to use even the name Palestinians.
They're better that way than dead, though.
maybe to you, but to us, it's not. To us, to liberate our country, to have dignity, to have respect, to have our mere human rights is something as essential as life itself.